Hello, welcome to FM Corner. I'm Danny Koontz, Director of Relationship for Windy City Equipment. Today's topic we're going to talk about is take your budget to the street. We're going to actually explain our facility budget to operations. So before you go, holy cow, or why would you do something like that? That's today's episode. I'm going to explain it. I think it's critically important to sit down with the operational teams and kind of let them know how a facility budget works. I got X amount of money. And what that means is for the full year, I'm supposed to take that money and make all the repairs, capital improvements, maybe remodels are part of that number, whatever the number makes up, PM management, all those different things. That's my job. Figure it out. You like, well, that'll be a ton of money. No problem. Right. Divide that out by the number of restaurants, and then you'll see how much there is per restaurant. And what you'll also see is in facilities, of which we all know, you can have the greatest plan in the world. Odds of you executing that plan, slim and none. Things are going to happen. Sales go down in the restaurants. Okay, PMs get cut or scaled way back. What does that do? Over time, causes your equipment to break more. You have unexpected emergencies. Maybe part of your budget is tied into hurricane prep or flood or something like that. There's a piece of your budget that gets pulled to cover that if there happens to be part of those issues. You have a CapEx budget, but CapEx is a guess. You really have no hard fact for how many pieces are going to break and how many pieces are going to go down during the year. You have no idea how many water heaters are going to develop a leak during the course of the year. You can do an educated guess, but you really have no number. So you explain all that to operations. Yes, I have one big total budget. I also have that broken down by restaurant. And the thing you do in your restaurants is you look at those restaurants and you decide new versus old. Under 5 years, 5 to 10, 10 to 15. Because a 10 to 15-year-old restaurant is going to have more issues than an under 5. 5 to 10, going to have more than an under 5, but maybe not as much as a 10 to 15. So you're going to up those budget numbers or move them down a little bit based on the age of the restaurant. The other thing you're going to do is you're going to look at your operational teams. I know this person. I know they do a good job in keeping their restaurants up. Okay, well, I may take a little bit away from that because I know they do such a good job. Over here on this side, they don't do as good a job. I may add a little bit more money. I'm not rewarding them. I'm just adding more money that maybe that might be one of the issues that come up that I need to deal with. And then you also explain to ops, for your restaurant, I have scheduled new fryers for this year. Those are to come second quarter of the year. However, at the end of first quarter, your water heater goes out, and I have to replace your water heater. That may bump your fryers. They may go to fourth quarter. We may try to get another 6 months out of them and go the next year. Because again, I only have X amount of money, and you're like, but you budgeted my fryers. Yes, I did. At home, you budgeted something as well, but changes might prevent you from delivering on all the things you budgeted for. It's how it works. I only have a finite amount of money. So things that come up, if your water heater goes out and I have to replace it, there's money. That takes away from possibly another project that I wanted to do. I try not to take the budget money away from certain restaurants and give it to another one unless it gets to fourth quarter and they didn't need it, didn't use it, something happened, then I did it. You as a general manager or an operations person don't want money taken away from you, so I try not to do that. But sit down and explain all the different pieces that come into that budget. And then there's a chance we're going to do a remodel. Okay, these remodels cost $100,000 and there's 20 of them. Okay, there's that amount of money. But typically in a remodel, you never hit the budget because there are changes and other things that are to be done once you get there that have to be done. It doesn't do any good to do cosmetic stuff to the bar when the bar's rotten. If you get there and the bar's rotten underneath, you got to pull it all out and redo it. Well, that's money you didn't budget for. So you have a budget for remodels, but you've also got some filler money because you know it's probably going to go over. That money comes out of the available money that you have to spend. My whole purpose in that is to sit down with the operational teams and explain to them and to the directors, because the directors are just at a scale. A restaurant manager has one number to look at. A director may have 10, but he still has 10. A regional may have 50. This is your bucket of money. And here are the things that come out of your bucket of money. And this is what we do. But if something unexpected happens, one of the things that you've been budgeted for may have to move, may have to slide. They don't like that, obviously. But what it is you're trying to do an explanation, because you can't sit down with them and you have 500 restaurants and you say, I have a budget of 20 million or whatever the number is. Unbelievable amount of money to them. When you break it down by restaurant and by what is included in that number, then they get a piece. The other thing is they have the same type budget. Small wares, China, to go, whatever it may be, food, all those things, labor, are part of their budget. And they have to hit that budget every week. So if they spend more money in labor than they should, they got to find a way somewhere else to make that up. It's the very same process. It's just a far different scale. So I don't think you're ever afraid to sit down with your operational teams and say, this is my budget and this is how it works, so that they get an understanding. Again, they don't always love it, but you're providing information to them. And as they move through the company, they will have a better understanding of how the whole process works. So I would always advise you, sit down, talk about budgets, talk about numbers, talk about money. What's in there? How does it equate to them? And what are the changes that can affect whether you're able to deliver all the things that you wanted to for their particular location? That's my story for today. Hope you liked it. Please let me know any comments, as always, that you have for this or any other episode. And I look forward to talking to you next week on FM Corner.